Good day and welcome to the African News. We are broadcasting from Canada. I am Sandra Asante. Top stories. Buhari orders action over kidnapped children. Ugandan minister daughter dies after shooting. Kenya warns it may ban Somalia humanitarian flights. France call for strict adherence on Mali transition. There's and many more other stories coming up after the break. You're welcome back from the break to our first story. Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari has ordered the security authorities to hasten efforts to rescue more than 100 children kidnapped from the Islamic school in Niger State. The president condemned the latest incident as unfortunate while urging the agencies to secure their immediate release, according to a statement shared by his spokesman Garba Shehu. Mr. Buhari has also directed government agencies to extend possible support to the families of the kidnapped children. Abduction carried out for ransom are increasingly common in northern states, with hundreds having been kidnapped in several incidents in recent months. In February, nearly 300 girls were taken by armed men from the boarding school in Jangebe and Zamfara state, where most were later freed. In latest incident on Sunday in the town of Tejina, gunmen on motorcycles are reported to have stormed the town and opened fire indiscriminately. The gunmen then seized the students from the school, where children aged between 6 and 18 years attend as people fled. We are in Uganda, and the daughter of the Ugandan Transport Minister General Katumba Wamala and his driver have died from injuries sustained after the shooting. The two were in the vehicle with the minister when it was sprayed with bullets from the sides and from gunmen riding in motorcycles. Army spokesman Brigadier General Flavia Bakaiso says the security forces have taken interest in the number of phone calls that seem to related to planning the attempted assassination of the transport minister. General Wamala, injured from the shooting, are said to be not life-threatening. In videos shared on social media, the former army chief seems to be in agony. The army has deployed heavily at the hospital in central Kampala, where he has been admitted. Army Chief General David Muhoozi also did visit the crime scene. To our next story in Kenya, Kenya has warned that it may impose a total ban on flights from Somalia, including those on humanitarian missions. The Foreign Affairs Ministry said in a letter to diplomatic mission that humanitarian flights were being misused for bilateral and political matters, even after Kenya has suspended flights. Kenya recently suspended flights from the neighboring country but exempted medical emergency evacuation flights and those on humanitarian missions. But it now warns that humanitarian flights must strictly be used for humanitarian purposes to avoid a possible declaration by the government of Kenya of a full lockdown on all flights. The ministry has also required all humanitarian flights to seek clearance first and provide a list of passengers as well as the goods to be transported. Kenya and Somalia have been entangled in diplomatic quarrel for a long time, including a maritime border dispute that has persisted since 2014, when the Mogadishu brought a case against Kenya at the International Court of Justice. Somalia initially severed diplomatic ties with Kenya in December, accusing the Eastern African neighbor of interfering in its domestic political affairs by backing the administration of the semi-autonomous Jubaland region. On 6th of May, it said that diplomatic relations has been restored after mediation by the Qatar, only for Kenya to announce the suspension of flights weeks later. Kenya says that its airspace with Somalia remains closed owing to several of diplomatic relations between the two countries. To our last story, the French foreign minister has called for strict adherence to Mali transition timetable by military authorities and reiterated France's condemnation of the coup in the country. Mr. Jean-Yves Le Drian tweeted that France shares the absolute priority given by the Economic Community of West African States, the ECOWAS, to the presidential elections of 27 February 2022 under the strict conditions outlined by the head of state and government in their 30th May statement. Mali has had 2 coups in 9 months, with the military junta leader Kou Assini Gweta declaring himself as traditional president. Noting ECOWAS' decision to suspend Mali over the latest coup, Dr. Le Drian said France backed the establishment of a monitoring committee on the transition by the bloc. He said the adherence to the criteria verified by the ECOWAS was essential for maintaining international support for Mali. France President Emmanuel Macron said the country would withdraw its troops as soon as critical to the fight against the jihadist militant if Mali moved towards embracing racial Islam. Thank you so much for joining me. This is where I end the news for today. See you some other time. You should have an amazing day.